forgot to say the part in a spirit soaking about holding our applause, holding our energy in. And it's impossible with that. That was awesome, Kat. I believe I can fly. In that between what is and what's possible, we all know, how many of you know and can think of times when you just feel like that? I believe I can fly. That natural feeling. That leaning on the everlasting arm is the powerful line in that song, is the key to believing I can fly. Several years ago, I had an experience of having that feeling, I believe I can fly. I was in Raleigh, North Carolina with my best friend. The state fair was in town. She had 2 children, pretty young children. We had taken to the state fair. And it had been a great day. They were not that ambitious and wanting to ride crazy rides, so we had ridden fun little rides and watched them ride. We'd seen all the exhibits, ate a lot of food, a few more rides, a lot of food, a few exhibits, food, a good day at the state fair. And just as we're getting ready to leave, we're walking out, her little son said, you know what, there's one more ride I want to ride. And he looked at me with his cute little brown eyes and said, will you go with me? I said, I believe I can fly. Sure, I'm feeling great. So he got me by the hand, and we started off walking, and we walked past all the little kiddie rides. Around something he'd seen, he could find it again. And as he started taking me to some ridiculous ride, I thought, oh, no, this cannot be it. Would you give me the slide? When I saw that thing, Cody, you must be mistaken, honey. That's the one. You said you'd ride. Before I know it, I'm in a bucket seat for 2. These telescopic poles are going up. And as they're going up, this tension is building. And I'm still wondering, how did this happen? Children will talk you into stuff. The poles continue up, the tension continues, until at that moment, it lets go. And I skyrocketed up into the sky, way higher than any human should go without wings or a parachute. Up we went. It was, and then for the second, it was like suspension. Right at that second, as it began to then go down very rapidly, very, very rapidly, way down real fast, and then back up again, way up again. And for just a moment, I opened my eyes at the top, and it was quite beautiful, but I couldn't enjoy the beauty for the screaming of my own voice. As I'm going up and down and up and down, and way too many ups and downs. This thing, it takes a long time for this to settle down. When it finally stopped, every part of me was shaking. I looked at him and he was petrified. I couldn't worry about him. When I got off, I just kind of fell to the ground with my stomach still somewhere half between up and down. And my friend said, wow, that looked like a lot of fun. I'm like, oh my God, let's go home. It was the ride of my life, let's just say. And perhaps it's an extreme picture, but I thought about that this week because it's what our life can feel like. We all have those times of elevation when we really feel high. I believe I can fly. I'm on top of the world. I'm really connected to what's possible. I'm connected to that everlasting arm. And then we also have times of what feels like devastation. When we thought we learned the answers and things were going right, somehow the questions got changed and we're lost again and we can't seem to find our way. The ups and downs of life. And in those ups and downs, we tend to like the ups and not the downs. We tend to like the times we feel connected and really try to avoid the times we feel disconnected. And yet, today is about realizing that all of this is a part of life. That there are times that we feel lost. There are times we feel broken. If we did not feel genuinely lost, we would not know what it feels like to be genuinely found or reborn or rediscovered. If we weren't broken apart, we would not be able to release and discover what we're made of. That the ups and downs in life, perhaps that's what it's about. But we also know individuals that even though they experience the ups and downs, they seem to maintain a connection to the everlasting arm, something steady, that they still have their highs and have their lows, life happens, and yet they're connected to something that seems to fortify them. What they're connected to is what each of us are made of. It's our spirit. And so I invite you to just set your intention to let this time of spirit soaking be an opportunity to really soak within the awareness of your own spiritual nature. And so just to soak in the words to this song. When I lose myself, when I cannot find my way, then I go inside and quiet my mind, and I hear my spirit gently say, there is only love, there is only love, love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
I'm Reverend Morgan Barclay. I'm a Unity minister here, and I am here to support Reverend Darlene, the leadership, and all of you as we create the greatness that impacts every community in the Blue Ridge. So Darlene asked me to contemplate this question of when do I feel most connected with Spirit and when do I feel most disconnected with Spirit? And just a little bit about who I am that'll create the context of this. My dear wife Cynthia's email is Cynthia Being, and she contends mine should be Morgan Doing. I have created my Morgan to-do list. Every once in a while it says Cynthia to-do list. And now I have a Reverend Darlene to-do list. In my last church, I was operations director at a large church creating infrastructure and organization. Notice the outward function here. And I'm going to suggest a word that you probably are not going to associate with connection with Spirit. And the word I'm going to use is discipline. Oh, sometimes we don't like that word. So my day begins every day with coffee and a conversation with God. It starts with daily word, and Science of Mind. 2 daily readings that, if you remember the American Express ad, don't leave home without them. Anyway, these 2 items, we never travel without them. So I spend my time in affirmative prayer for those who've asked for prayer, and then I settle in, as our first song said, and just listen. Listen. Listen to the call of Spirit. And I spend a minimum of 20 minutes. The word discipline pops in there again. In silent meditation and listening. And I'd love to tell you a lightning bolt hits me every time I come out of meditation. But it doesn't. But what often happens is a sweetness, a peace that carries me through the day. The second piece of my daily practice includes about a 30-minute jog in which I use a 12-power meditation. The 12 powers were 12 spiritual gifts that our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, knows that we all have. So I affirm them over and over again as I wander through the beautiful hills of the Blue Ridge. Sometimes completely lost in spirit. Juxtaposition to that is when I resurrect too many of those items on my to-do list. An example, unfortunately, from this week is we were having carpet laid, and I had to glue down some tile, the installer said, before they got there. Unlike my usually over-disciplined self, I waited till the night before. Then I pulled out the washing machine. I only had 2 tiles to pick up. I picked up 1 tile under the washing machine, 2 tiles, 3 tiles, 4 tiles. I felt my energy shift. I felt the tension coming up in my body. I began that self-talk that sometimes we do. Oh, well, why did you wait till the last minute, you dummy? Blah, 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 etc. But I didn't stay there too long. Well, I said some words that we can't repeat here. But so I did settle back down. And I know when I'm out of place, because every once in a while my dear wife Cynthia will say to me, when I'm grumpy, did you jog this morning? If not, get outside. So I urge you to put Spirit as number 1 in your life at the beginning of the day. That creates so much peace for myself. And I know many of you already have that spiritual practice. If you don't, I urge you to do it. And for those of you who are nice and complacent and say, I already do that, add 10 minutes of meditation time to your morning practice. God bless you.
When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Morning. My name is Reverend Christy Corna. I am an ordained minister with Centers for Spiritual Living, and I am also the church administrator here. And I love this community, and I love love. And that song has been in my consciousness for probably the last 20 years. And that one phrase, "there is only love," is what pops into my mind the second, okay, maybe a few more than just a second, I move into judgment. And I wanted to share with you, in contemplating this question of connection and disconnection, wow, that ride has really is a metaphor for my life. And it was taught to me many years ago, the art of the trapeze artist, there is a fine line in letting go and then in reaching for what is next. So as you're moving, as a trapezist, if that's a word, is moving forward, there is a point where they have to absolutely let go. But the momentum's got them, before they actually grasp onto the next bar, what's next. And I use that for a metaphor as well, knowing that the momentum that is building is based on my absolute faith in God, that God's got this because God is this. And I was thinking about a personal example, and I'm limited to 4 minutes, so I'll choose 3. Recently, I had the opportunity, quite unexpected. There have been, in the last year, so many things unexpected in my life. But what I've learned with the unexpected, here you go, let's see what you can do with this in life, is I have absolute faith in knowing that I'm carried every step of the way, that I have everything within myself to have and to do and to be all that is required. And that is my own divinity, which is source. There are times that I can absolutely get lost in fear and in sadness and in just that sense of disconnect. But I only have to remember one thing, is that this animating spirit that is who I am has got this. And then all of a sudden I'm able to see that while on one hand I've got the, oh my God, this is going on, this is required, I don't know if I have it in me to do this, I don't know what's next. At the same time I have, wow, I believe I can fly. I believe the door is opening, and I'm just going to go ahead and go through that. And what I've learned through the years is that with these experiences, while I'm, yes, honestly acknowledging the oh my gods and the wow, I wonder what's about to happen, in the middle, where I practice my faith, I practice my spirituality, is where the two merge. And that to me is wholeness. That is wholeness. So I don't want to deny any part of my life. I don't want to wallow too much over here. And I don't want to be so far out there that I'm not really being practical. So right in the middle is that balance of the divine. So recently, I had the opportunity to find out that I get to move. And I thought, okay, wow, I had probably an hour or so of, oh my God, what am I going to do? And self-pity and feeling betrayed and all the yucky stuff that comes up with that. And all of a sudden I realized this is so perfect for me. This is so perfect for my path. I've been wanting to get my own place. I've been wanting to move into my own in a new way. I've been wanting to really just be who I am on my own and feel that solid ground beneath my feet. And what I realized was, I have a lot of things in storage, but they're things. I have absolutely no furniture but one chair. So I went on a shopping spree to IKEA. And if anybody has shopped at IKEA, you have to put everything together. And so I thought, that's okay, that's like meditation for me. This would be really healthy. This would be really a time for me to center in the divine. And I had a friend of mine help me lug all the boxes upstairs. And I got a kitchen table and bed frames coming Wednesday. But a mattress that was, I don't know how they do it. They roll it up and then suction it like that. So we kind of cut that open and it flew out and knocked me over. It reminded me of one of those cans that you open and all those little confetti things pop out. That was fun. Nightstands, I think I said a kitchen table, a TV stand, and a bunch of stuff. And I thought, okay, well, this is good. I'm going to use this time as meditation. I center myself, and I figure they come with tools. And I open it up, and it says you need a hammer and a screwdriver. I thought, I don't even have silverware. I have some crystals, but I'm not using those to pound when I need to pound. So I borrowed from a friend of mine a screwdriver and a hammer, and I got busy. And it was a really wonderful meditative time. I was able to really process the whole thing of letting go and trusting what's next, creating my own sanctuary, which is my home. And then I started to get a blister, right? So life is like that. Some assembly required. In the case of IKEA, all assembly is required. But I'm okay. I'm up for the work. I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for that meditative experience of trusting and following directions. Just even looking at the pictures, I don't read them. I just look at the pictures. That's what I like about them. So I really got way into this, and that's what I'm talking about, going to the other extreme. You see, the pendulum of life is always swinging, right? And I don't want to be too far over here, and I don't want to be too far over here, so I'm getting a blister because I'm over here, right? So I'm getting a blister, and I thought, I can't do this. I can't do anymore. I can't clean anymore. I can't build anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I rested. Very important spiritual practice for me is to just be still and listen. Be still and rest. Let your body catch up. Let your mind just let that stuff go. And then when I centered myself, I had an epiphany. My friend Marie has a power screwdriver. So I got busy texting, and I went over and picked it up off her front porch, and still I have not used it, but it's all charged and ready to go. It's like me. I gave myself a day of rest, and I'm charged, and I'm ready to go. For me, spiritual practice, the word discipline that Reverend Morgan had shared, a word that I use is discernment. Because for me, that takes me a little bit deeper into asking what is important for my spirit. And when I ask myself that, I cannot ask myself that without remembering who I am. I am the divine expressing all is well. Yeah, some assembly is required, but not all. And yeah, I have friends to help me. And you see, that's what spiritual community is for me. That's why I love being here and being able to open up to being real. I remember when I got licensed as a minister, I was like, I thought I had to be perfect. I couldn't have any negative feelings, negative beliefs. On the surface, I had to be perfect. And I remember someone saying to me, you just got licensed as a minister. You didn't enter sainthood. And that helped me relax. And I want to leave you with a thought. Find whatever is your unique, authentic way of connecting with Source. Yes, do it in the morning. I do it at night before I go to bed. And I do it throughout the day. When I have too much emotions, I was working the other day, I went out and hugged a tree. I just said, take all this. Take all this. Remind me of who I am. Let me remember that. And I got nice orange stuff all over my white shirt, but that's okay. Spiritual practice, spiritual discipline, spiritual discernment. Finding the middle way, finding that balance. Not judging either one, but knowing that God's got this because God is this. I just want to leave you with this prayer that is a mantra of mine. It's written by Ernest Holmes, and it goes like this. Within myself, there is that life, which is perfect, complete, divine. It was never born and cannot die, for it lives and is God. Within myself is the wholeness, peace, poise, and power of life. This life is health, it is abundance, it is love. There is one life, it is the life of God, and this is my life now. Thank you.
When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only
So after that ride, when we got back in the car, it was quiet for a few moments. I was still trying to find my stomach somewhere between the high and the low. And the little boy, Cody, said, "Were you afraid?" I wanted to burst out laughing and say, "Were you not on the ride with me?" You know, he was screaming the whole time at the top of my lungs. He said, "Were you afraid?" And I said, "I was terrified." And he said, "Would you ever do it again?" And I said, "I don't know why." And he said, "Well, is it okay to do something that we're afraid to do? Are we supposed to do things sometimes that we're afraid to do?" And what I didn't realize, but his parents were going through a divorce. And his mom told me later that something in him shifted that day. I think he realized that, yeah, we're supposed to do things we're afraid of. If wisdom guides us there, if love guides us there, that it's okay. That you can scream and be afraid, and you can remember to rest. You can scream and be afraid, and you can remember, practice these disciplines. It works if we work it. And so this spirit that is our life is always, always, always present in the highs and the lows, in the scary times and in the fun times. This week, our invitation is to connect the dots, to see ourselves in that swing, in that place between what is and what is possible, that life is stretching us, that we are the way, we are that place. So I invite you to join me in this chorus as we then go into a time of meditation to anchor this in at a different level.
There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There